So we're all in a really weird space right now with COVID-19 spreading across America and across the world right now. And for those of us that live with multiple sclerosis, it's an even weirder time because we're trying to take care of ourselves, our physical health, and also our mental health. I have been working from home for the last 3 weeks, and that's been very difficult as an extrovert because I like to see people and talk to people and interact with humans, other humans. And thankfully, I have a dog, and he's been able to help me break that. Any kind of a barrier as far as being alone. Some things that I've been doing while we've had this COVID-19 pandemic breakout is that I've been trying not socially isolate myself. I might be physically away from my family and my friends, but we've been keeping in touch virtually, and technology and the internet are on our side right now. So that's been super helpful. A few of the things that I've learned in the last 2 weeks, I realized that even though I'm gonna be working at home, I can't act like I'm just going to be here for the rest of my life, but I will one day see the light. So keeping that in mind, thinking that there is a light at the end of the tunnel has been super helpful. It's changed my mindset. I just had to shift my mind a little bit. Keeping social distance is super hard, right? Like, we're all aware this is difficult. So I think the first step that I took was realizing and swallowing the idea that this is very difficult and it's going to be difficult. So don't try to make anything that it's not. It is going to be difficult. I've gotten in a Fitbit challenge with my friends. We usually have a happy hour group that meets every Friday after work. And obviously we haven't been able to do that. And so instead of having happy hour on Fridays, we have every day been doing a Fitbit challenge and seeing who gets the most steps. Since we're all working from home, that's been difficult because we all know we're more likely to sit all day instead of actually get up and exercise. So we've been using these little Fitbits and been making sure that everybody is staying going and rocking and rolling. And that's been interesting because I thought I walked a lot more than I did. And I realized that some of my friends are much more competitive than I am. So that's been an eye-opener. So something else that a precaution that I've taken during COVID-19 is I've gotten my groceries delivered, or I have gotten them through pickup. I live in Walmart country in Arkansas, and I am fortunate to have really, really wonderful folks who work at our local grocery stores. But more than anything, I think that grocery pickup, grocery delivery, or if your friends can deliver your groceries for you, that would be a huge asset. I then got Lysol wipes, and I've been wiping down every surface of all of my microwavable, literally any product I have, I've been wiping it down because then I know that I usually am going to touch that, and then there's a possibility that I'll touch my face, and I just want to somehow prevent any germs from getting into my system. I have been trying to do more reading and yoga. I'm be honest, this week has been very difficult. I started off really strong, and I started off working out on Monday morning and eating really healthy, and then I had a really weird day earlier this week, and it didn't go so well. So just trying to give myself some kind of a routine and understanding that every day is not going to be the same, and not being too hard on yourself. But for a while, I think the first week, I've decided to kind of binge and eat food that was not so great for me. And I wasn't working out, and I could tell a difference. So I have a really intense routine of going on walks as much as possible during my lunch hour, early in the morning, and after work, after the workday ends. So working out as much as possible, getting outside as much as possible too is super important. One of the other things that I've been doing is letter writing. My family is really good at this. We've been writing letters back and forth to one another during this time because there's nothing better than going to the mailbox, using your latex gloves, getting the mail out, and then lysoling it down, and then opening a letter from someone that you love, so a friend or a member of your family. So I really encourage folks to write letters because it's always been something that I've loved and enjoyed, and more than any time right now, it's been super important to keep in touch. I also have been getting on phone calls with my grandparents and some of the folks who I haven't connected with in a while. I have some college friends who live in New York, and reaching out to them, and I haven't really talked to them probably in, I would say, a good 6 months to a year, and reaching out to them and just saying, hey, I'm here for you, and being like a sounding board for them has been super wonderful because I know they're in a tough situation. And so rekindling some of those relationships with friends that you've had for a while that you haven't really gotten to be in contact with, that's been super important for me as well. So I think the biggest thing for me has been, I've been extra clean. I've been wiping down every single surface. I have not been driving anywhere. I have been staying inside as much as possible. And by that, I mean I've been staying away from any public spaces. I have not gone into a public space in a couple of weeks. I have not seen my friends in face-to-face in person for a very long time. It's only been 3 weeks, but gosh, it feels like a really long time. It feels like 10 years. And also just keeping a positive mindset that this will end at some point. And the biggest idea, mind shift I had is this is going to end at some point, but like it's so much bigger than me. Like me taking and sheltering in place is a very, very small sacrifice for keeping selfishly my health, but also for keeping the health of others safe. And for those of us with compromised immune systems, it's super important for us to keep that in mind and to understand like we are at a risk. And some of the simplest changes we can make, like not touching our face, lysoling down things, any kind of surface, not going into grocery stores, working from home, doing those things, those small changes. Those are small sacrifices we're going to make where in the end they could be life-saving. So I also want to mention that, you know, your mental health is really important during this time. So whether it be meditation, prayer, journaling, reading, getting away from a screen for a couple hours, not watching as many press conferences as you usually would during this time because the news is constantly around us. Somehow escaping, sitting outside, whatever that looks like, that's super important too. And don't discount that. So everybody be safe and be healthy.